Welcome back to Conversations with Neighbours, the show where we bring you the people and stories that make our community special. Today we've got something exciting for Newmarket hockey fans. The Hurricanes are back. After years away, junior hockey is returning to Ray 20, and the Hurricanes name is being revived for the 2025-2026 season. Joining me are the two leaders behind this new chapter, Rick, President and General Manager of the Newmarket Hurricanes, and Dave, Head Coach. Together, they're not just building a hockey team, they're building what they call a Hurricane family, where players, fans, and the entire community come together. We'll talk about the legacy of the Hurricanes, what fans can expect when the puck drops this fall, and how the team plans to compete for championships while staying rooted in Newmarket. Let's get into it. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's start with kind of who you guys are and how this came about. Little background story of how did we get here?
So we've been with the Toronto Junior Canadiens. I've been with them for 11 years now. Dave's going into year 5. We're playing under the Scotiabank Pond in the OJHL. The team's been there since 2006, which was a great home for us, but really didn't give our players much of a junior A hockey experience. Being in the city, obviously with so much to do, it was tough for us to compete with all the other family activities that people can do. And we really didn't have our players living too close to the arena, that they were kind of spread out all over Ontario. So when the team left in 2019, when they were bought and moved to Milton, I was pretty much all over our ownership group of, we should look at this one day. And now we just felt the time was right. Our team's been really good for the last 6-7 years. We felt that the town of Newmarket really missed the team, and we felt that this was the right time for us to make a move and keep growing as an organization, as our goal is to be, the best junior A organization in the country. I
love it. Yeah, I think Newmarket is definitely missing it. I'm sure that you're feeling the buzz of you guys coming back.
Yep.
It's funny. So I'm born in 1991. I have a pretty core group of friends that all grew up in Glenway, right? So they were into Hurricanes, and still to this day, late at night, if they've had a couple too many drinks, they break into Newmarket Hurricanes trivia.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that.
And you would be surprised at how well they know the history of Newmarket Hurricanes. It's hilarious. And they do it often too, especially my one buddy, Stu Burgod. He lived pretty much right on one of the houses near the parking lot of Ray 20. So you're super close. So when he was a kid, he went to all the games. They were actually they billeted a couple players too during it. So he was embedded into the Hurricanes, and he's probably usually the winner of the trivia at those late nights. So, we need the new era of that,
We got to get him some season tickets.
Actually, do you have a play-by-play guy?
We're interviewing a guy right now.
This is your guy.
Really?
This is your guy. And we'll add this element of the content reel from it too. We'll make the Hurricanes famous. We should get him up to interview. I could guarantee I'd bet a lot of money on it that if you put this guy in the booth for Newmarket Hurricane home games, one, he'd be really good at it from a professional level, but he would add this unique
element
to it, historical, plus he's hilarious too, and he's really good at doing play-by-play. So I'll connect you guys, and maybe awesome. Get them up here. So Stu, you got to go and fulfill your destiny and make it happen. Okay, guys. So, the goal is to kind of make the Hurricanes more than just a team. They're a family. What does that mean? When you're trying to build that out?
So I played for the Hurricanes in the 2003-2004 season. At the time, Charlie McCowan was our owner. As soon as my first day in Newmarket, I played for 4 other teams in the league, and I knew this town, this team was different. They backed the team. He really made it, and that's why I always say, we want to bring back the Hurricane family, because as players, we knew every billet, we knew every volunteer, we knew the local businesses that supported. We did so much in the community. And, mine and Dave's goal for this team is to bring that back. We want that feel. Again, it's something we didn't have in Toronto. Dave and his staff have done a great job with the culture of our team. We've always had a family inside our dressing room, and we want to expand that and make sure that it's, throughout the town. And, our boys were actually down on Main Street yesterday for the Summerfest, just walking around, and people were already going up to them. So the excitement's there. We're bringing that family back. We're going to honor the former owners of the team home opener on September 6th against Aurora. So we want to bring that family back. And to me, my time here was special, even though it was only for a season. But I know what this team, what this town means to each other, and we want to bring that back.
Yeah, I think a little bit too is we've done a lot of work on and investigating on what went wrong for the team to leave and what happened in the last couple of years for, things to go a little bit sideways. And we wanted to make sure we're not doing any of that. And I think a lot of the people told us they lost the relationship with the community. And, from I think our first meeting with the town at Ray 20 back probably in October of last year, that's the first thing they said to us. The relationship was gone. And I think Rick has done an amazing job of, building that relationship back up with a lot of people in the community, and, using the resources that we have, and like guys like John Bartlett that have been a massive help of basically helping us navigate who to talk to, where to go, and where to build those relationships back up. And I think our message, to everybody from our player standpoint, from the management coaching staff, is we want this to be Newmarket's team. I think that's the message that we've been saying since day one, and building a team that, the town can be proud of, right? So we're going to be in the community. It's a mandate from our players. They know it. Like yesterday, they're putting up posters. They'll be on Main Street at Summerfest this weekend, putting some shifts in. They're going to be at the local schools. Last year when we played 2 regular season games, we did it, we donated all the proceeds to the hospital. So, we're going to do a lot of things with the community and with the minor hockey and the minor sports all over the town and local businesses, and just build that relationship and build it back up. And I think our goal is to honestly is develop our hockey players, number one, putting a winning franchise on the ice to win a championship for the town. But I think how we envision it is, in April playoff game, there's 2,000 people in Ray 20 cheering on 17 to 20-year-old kids and being proud of that team. And, so I think that's our end goal of it, is packing that place and, the town being really proud of the product we're putting on the ice.
Yeah, for sure. And, as you talk about like developing these young men and these players, right? And I think having this community element to it is part of that, right? You're going to be doing stuff like on ice and, as a hockey player too, but as a person, right? As an athlete, and kind of be a more holistic approach and integrated into the community. That's really the way that's going to be built up. And I love that vision for, playoff time and have 2,000 people there. Like, I think it's the right moment in time, because if you think about like kids, hockey kids, right? It's like going to see the Toronto Maple Leafs is so out of reach. Like,
For a lot of people, yeah.
It's like, it's crazy. Like, we'll start with like the pricing of it too, but even just like the logistics of like going downtown and going through that whole thing and that process, right? Where like to go see live sports at a high level, right? In the sport that you love to see locally too, and something that's a team that you want to root for. I think this is the right moment for that too. And I think it's exciting. Obviously you got to do a lot of things well and execute it properly, and as well win hockey games, but
and we see it in our league too. Like, you look at, towns like Collingwood and how they support their team, and every Friday night that Eddie Bush is packed with 800-900 people on a Friday night. It's basically what everyone looks forward to doing. And you look at Trenton and you look at Milton, what they've done, and Leamington on the weekend. So like we see that,
yeah,
and that's what we wanted. We did so much good on the on ice portion. I think in the last 5-6 years, I think our organization's won more hockey games than any other team in this league. It's just when we played on Sunday nights, our kids look up in the stands at Scotia and North York and see 50 people there.
Yeah.
You know, and now you can just, the energy within our dressing room, like you can feel it as a coach. You sense it. And, you know, all of our kids this year could have been free. They were free agents and they could have chose any team. So anytime you move contractually, you move, relocate a franchise in our league, all your players become free agents for 30 days. And us playing 2 regular season games here last year gave the taste to our players, like, this is going to be really cool.
They're down for the ride.
Yeah. They're excited.
That's awesome.
So it's pretty cool.
That's great. Like, what's the kind of feeling that you want the fans to have when they're walking into Ray 20 this season?
So it's a couple things, and you actually touched on it when you were talking about the Maple Leafs and the pricing. So first of all, we're going to be extremely affordable. Everything from our ticket prices to our concessions, to our alcohol, everything's going to be at a price that's going to be very affordable. The other thing we did is we moved, you know, when I played for the Hurricanes and right till the day they moved out of town, they were playing Thursday nights. For us, you know, I have small kids. I know what it's like to get home from work, get them packed, get them fed, get them packed up and leave the house to go to an event. Doing that on a Thursday night isn't easy for a lot of families. So we moved our games to Saturdays, and we're going to be at 4:30, where, you know, we want this to be the center of attraction in town every Saturday afternoon at 4:30, like before you're going to dinner, before you're going to a birthday
that
party.
sounds fun.
You know, for younger people that are going to go out to the restaurants and bars after, you know, here's where you're going to go.
Here's a pregame.
This is where it's going to start. And to me, it's about bringing all those different, you know, categories together. The younger generation that are going to do something before they go out. You know, the older generation that maybe wants to get home, you know, at a reasonable hour. For people that want to watch, you know, Maple Leaf games Saturday nights, they're going to get home before that. Families that want to get their kids home at a reasonable time. You know, we wanted to create that center of attention, that attraction. Saturdays at 4:30 at Ray 20 is where, you know, we're hoping fans are or the people of the town are going to come and, you know, enjoy great hockey, because, you know, we play a high intense, fast, you know, we're a fast team, highly skilled, and a brand of hockey that, you know, people are going to love to watch. And we also got a lot of things planned in the stands. Home opener, we have, you know, a local barber coming in and giving haircuts in the stands for, I think, $10. We want to do a lot of chuck-a-puck, different events, and shoot to score, and a lot of the old school things that used to go on during hockey games. You know, we want to bring that back. You know, we're doing print. We're doing a lot of posters in town. We're handing out pocket schedules, like a lot of things that, you know, actually
Old school
your
marketing.
business, a lot of your business touches with Neighbor Media and the paper. You know, we want to do that on the hockey side of it and bring it all together as one, as you guys have done here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I love it. I'm excited, like, as I listen to you guys talk about it. You know, you have these players that are maybe coming in they don't live in Newmarket, right?
Yeah.
Talk about the role of billet families and what that is, and kind of junior hockey and the importance of it, and, you know, how they make it possible.
You know, a lot of our guys, actually more as the weeks go on, a lot of our guys wanted a billet. From day one when we made the move, a lot of our guys are like, no, I want to live in town. It's and now we get more guys every day calling Rick saying, hey, is there another billet available? So if there's anyone listening,
They can drive, but they don't want to live here now.
But it's massive. I coached in Coburg for a year and a half, and that's when I first got to see firsthand, you know, the responsibility of how important the billet families are to players and the relationship they have. And it's a huge part of junior hockey. It's their family for 6-7 months of the year. And, you know, just talking to our captain yesterday, Joel Taylor, and just loves going back to his billet home, and a great family with a young son that plays hockey, and he gets to play big brother, right, at his billet house, and he's really enjoying that. And no, it's a massive part to it, and we're very thankful for everyone that has, you know, stepped up and wanted to billet our players. And you know, and our players know that, you know, being in this town, even though they're not from here, how important it is. And that's something that we mandate day one when we spoke to all of our players coming into day one of camp last Tuesday. to respect the town, respect the people here. This is going to be your home. Treat it like your home. And we have to make a really good impression because there is a little bit of a sour taste from the team leaving in the past. And so, but we have really good kids. I think that's something that we really do a good job of, is recruiting really good human beings and mature young men. And, they're excited to be in the town. They really are. And they look forward to taking that ownership of, be good role models in the community. And, and we want our billet families to speak highly of our players, right? Because it's word of mouth, right? And that's something that I learned in Coburg is, everyone talks, right? Yeah. So, but our kids are excited and they're looking forward to living in town. And I think me and Rick have spent a lot of time in Newmarket in the last 3 months, and it's a really cool place to live. You can see it, right? And our players are looking forward to it. So it's a massive, like you said, it's a massive
part of it,
junior hockey.
So it's clear that you're building and have built and continue to build like a strong developmental program, as in your organization. Like, what are your measures of success? Obviously, we know like on ice wins and stuff, but as a whole, like when you're thinking about developmental players, how do you measure success?
So 2 different ways. One is, like you said, there's the team stuff and the wins, but we put more emphasis on getting our players to the next level and where they want to go. All our players' goals are to play at higher levels, so we make sure we do a good job, as Dave touched on, and making sure we bring in great kids. We know that, they're representation of our organization. When they go off to school, whether it's, in youth sports or it's in the NCAA or they move on to the OHL, we want those teams and those schools to know that they're getting great kids that have learned the game well from our staff, that work hard and are good people in the dressing room and in the community. The second thing is, and again, both you guys have touched on it, is we were doing great at building the on-ice product and making our players really good on ice, and into the gym. But now, it's doing stuff in the community. Mm-hmm. That's going to help them become young men, learning how to talk to different people. And, learning how to go into a business and introduce yourself and go into a school and read to kindergartens or, do floor hockey with the gym class. To me, that's, us doing another part in developing. And that's what we measure. That's our measure of success. Yes, wins is a part of it and hopefully winning championships, but how many players can we really get to the next level? Yeah. And not just get there, succeed there as well.
And I think we've done a really good job of that over the last couple of years, to be honest with you. And just to piggyback off Rick, it's for me as a coach, I want a winning environment that allows kids to develop to be the best versions of themselves. And I think if you can win and develop at the same time, your organization's in a really good spot. Kids love winning. Mm-hmm. It's a winning environment that drives these kids to come back. They want to win. And so everything that we do is for our players to get better every day and for our team to get better every day. How we practice, how punctual we are, not being a minute late. And if you're late, you better be texting the coach and saying you're running a bit behind. And how we treat them is kind of like how we want them to treat the community and how they treat the organization, which is with respect. And kids love being in a winning environment because it allows them to come every day with a smile on their face, knowing that they're coming to the rink for the right reasons. They get a chance to win, develop, get better as a hockey player, get better as a human being, and gives them that sense of hope that they can get to the next level and further their career. And that's the biggest thing I see day in, day out with a lot of these guys is they just need someone to believe in them. Mm-hmm. And they need that little glimpse of hope that they can play at the next level. It's not easy. Yeah,
for sure. And you just build the foundation as a person to build belief in yourself too, that you can achieve what you set out to achieve, right? Like whether that's having a good season, getting to the next level in your hockey career, and then even past your hockey career, like when you go into the workforce, business world, wherever that is, you've kind of put in the reps of like, you set a goal and vision for yourself, you put in the work, and you saw the growth in yourself, right? And then as well too, team sports is so core, like working together and knowing your role like in the team for a bigger cause, right? These are all
life lessons,
core life skills that carry on forever and ever.
This is what I tell our guys all the time though, is this game, you treat this game with respect, it'll treat you with respect back. And It's like they don't look at the long-term vision of this, but this game will repay you some way. If it's not with hockey, you can meet your future boss. You can meet, it could be the next town you live in, and when you're older, when you're growing a family, you can meet your future wife through this game. It will give it back. If you put everything into it, it will give it back some way, somehow down the road. And
all my best friends are from hockey.
Yeah.
It's not from school. It's not from anything else. It's from the sport.
Your future boss, or it could be a guy you play with right now, might be your real estate agent in 10 years.
100%.
Or sells you a car, or get you your home insurance, or whatever it may be. This game will give it back. It will repay you some way, somehow, and it's crazy how it works out. But
yeah, it's tough as like a young kid, right? Like to have the
vision.
verb. It's like, the game can take you so many places, right? Yeah. It's like, and with like everything that you just touched on too, right? The network that you build along the way, the places that you could go see, right? Like you can travel the world playing hockey. Like there's opportunities are endless, but you got to give it your all.
Yeah. And the hockey world's small.
Yeah.
Everybody knows everybody. I was talking to an agent yesterday who was a billet in Kitchener. My brother played in the OHL for the Kitchener Rangers, and he knows my brother. He's like, "Are you Phil's dad?" I'm like, "No, I'm his brother." And he's like, "No way." He goes, "He used to come to my house because I used to build like players for the Kitchener Rangers. Used to come here all the time." He's like, "Oh, that's awesome." And then we got talking about players, and now he's helping us bring some players onto the team that are going to help us be successful on the ice. So the hockey world's very small.
Very small. Are there any players this year's roster that the fans should be excited about, looking out for?
Yeah, no.
Quite a bit.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, is that all of our guys could have been free agents. And they, I think we have, 12, 13 returning players from last season's team that won 42 hockey games. And we were ranked top 10 in the country of the CJHL rankings. So we got a lot of returning guys from that team, but our captain this year. Should I announce that or should we wait? But
we can announce it.
Yeah, Joel Taylor. He's going to his third year. He's going to be our captain this year. A defenseman, just a very good human being, but a really steady force for us on the back end. Who's going to be a staple for us this year, and he's going to lead by example. And you got guys like Christian Lamanna. One of the best 200-foot centermen in the league, and a kid that we have high hopes for getting a scholarship this year. And Nathan Phillips is going into his third year with us, is probably the best goal scorer in the league. He's going to be highly touted this year, and he's very close to getting a Division I scholarship as well. And
fans are going to love him. Fans are going to love watching him. He's exciting forward to watch.
Yeah, and then Ilya Shabinsky is probably our young rising star who put himself on the map last year as a 17-year-old and took the league by storm. And he's probably that young gun that we have. That just the talent and the skill set on this kid is through the roof. And so those are four guys that and Joseph Machione as well. And there's a good core of kids. Colin Mont's coming back for a second year. He's gonna be a steady force for us on the back end. And then Brett Bouchard, who's going in his third year with us as well. And
it's a lot.
There's a lot of good players. There's a lot of good players. So.
You've been in the hockey world for a long time, right? Do you just look at these kids now and like, how are they so good?
Like the skill level.
I mean, obviously there's all these elements, but like a natural skill level of just like what they can do with the puck, or
it's stupid. Like the things that they can do at a young level. And Rick has a young kid that plays AAA.
Yeah.
The thing, I go watch his son's team. He coaches them, but like you see some of these kids at 10 years old and what they're doing. It's like I don't think we could even tie our own skates at that age. Like he sees it every day. Watching those young kids, and our guys they're very skilled. I think that the biggest difference though is trying to teach these. We live in such a social media world, so they see all these guys doing like crazy things on the ice. I think the biggest thing that we try to teach is we promote skill. We love it. I told the kids the other day, there's a reason why we teach the offensive side of the game first, because I know that's what you guys want to do.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's been, as a coach, we both coach every day. The skills there, it's teaching them, and developing their minds to play the game the right way. Is probably the most difficult thing now, I say, as coaches. Because the skill set's through the roof.
Yeah.
Like we got guys that can do things that it's like ridiculous.
Just like the way that they could shoot the puck now, it's just like ridiculous.
It's wild. It's wild.
Yeah.
All right, we'll close it up with some quick fire here. What's your favorite junior hockey memory?
I know mine. It was actually playing at Ray 20, and we were playing Aurora. It was my first game playing at Ray 20. We ended up winning 2-1. I remember scoring the winning goal with, I don't know, it was like 5-6 minutes left in a 2-on-1. As a player, that was definitely my favorite memory. And when we played Aurora, the amount of people that were in that rink, it was anywhere from, had to be 1,600 to 2,500 people in that rink. And that was the 03-04 season. As a coach and in management, you know, we've been close to winning a championship quite a few times. I don't know if it's my favorite memory, but, you know, our hearts were broken a few years ago when we lost in Game 7 in the finals. But, you know, to me, the best memory of junior hockey is, you know, the relationships you make. You know, the wins are great. Close to championships or winning championships are great. But my best friends are from, you know, guys that I either played with, coached with. To me, that's the best part about junior A hockey. And now what we're going to get to do in Newmarket at Ray 20 with the fans, like, we're really looking forward to this. You know, the passion's there from our staff and players, and we're seeing the passion from our from the fans and local businesses. So I think there's going to be a lot of new memories going to be made here in the very near future.
Yeah, and I think just to touch on what Rick said, Game 7, that was probably that will stay with us forever, I think. I was thinking about it actually the other day, but I think the most memorable thing about my junior career here is, like, we just had a kid come back and skate with us that's, you know, graduated from our program 2 years ago in Hayden Heinrich, and it's like shaking his hand and seeing him growing up as a man and still having that relationship with him, and, you know, just the relationships that you build with your players when you see them down the road, and the respect and the friendships that you make. I think those moments there, or when you get a text from a player saying thank you years down the road, that's what drives me to, you know, keep doing this every day. And, you know, we've been doing this a long time. I'm going to my 11th year in this league. Rick's been in this league for 11 years. And I think just seeing our former players come back and give you a hug or text you, and, like, you know, I'll tell them, like, Heine Coop just messaged me, you know, and, like, stuff like just having those moments. I think, you know, there's small, subtle moments, but that's what makes it so special coaching junior hockey.
Yeah, love it. Do we have a home opener date?
September 6th.
September 6th.
4:30. Battle of Yonge Street.
Oh, okay. All right.
Aurora.
We'll get it all linked up in the show notes here.
Love
and thank you so much for coming on the show. We're excited to have you back, and we'll see you at the rink.
Thank you for having us.
We're excited to be back.
All right. Bye-bye.